During the panel discussion that you were involved in, you talked about how free South African media really is. In your opinion, how free is it?
South African media is very free. I think it's the freest in Africa. If you look at, broadcasting obviously you have to have regulation because of the spectrum and all those issues. So you have to have regulation. But outside the spectrum regulation, the media in South Africa is complete. The print media, for example, is completely free. You don't have to register your publication with anyone. You don't have to register it. I don't think you need to register it with the post office anymore. You used to have to do that. Journalists don't need to be registered. In Zimbabwe, where I worked as a journalist, I had to be registered with the Ministry of Information, and they could cancel my registration. So the media in South Africa is very, very free, and is definitely.
Is there anything that you still think can be done to make it even freer?
Well, I think really the issue that we have to, which to me remains to be addressed, is the African language broadcasting in particular, especially radio. SABC has the complete monopoly of the African language broadcasting through their African language stations. Now I think there should be competition to SABC in that space. Now I don't know what the economics of it would look like and all the rest of it, but definitely I think we need more competition to SABC in the African language broadcasts, especially on the radio side.
Talking about the SABC, in the discussion, you said that the government meddling in the SABC doesn't have much of an impact on the South African media space as a whole, because there are alternatives to the SABC. Can you just clarify that?
Well, first, if you look at MultiChoice, MultiChoice has, I don't know how many stations, but there's lots. So you can get news from MultiChoice from all over the world through that platform, which includes news about South Africa. Then you have ETV. ETV would forget because of ENCA, but ETV is a free-to-air broadcaster, TV station. So it can compete with SABC, and it competes with the SABC. And in terms of audience ratings in English, I think ETV already has better ratings than SABC, because the perception is that it's uncensored. So and then you have a whole multiplicity of radio stations in South Africa that are there. As I pointed out, in 1994 we had 24 radio stations. Today we have, I don't know how many, but over 100. So there are lots of choices. And then the print media itself in South Africa is very, very open, it's very free. So there is competition to SABC, because competition is not just from television. The news you get on television, you also get in a newspaper. So the story, whether it's on TV or in the newspaper, is still the same story. So there's competition to SABC even from the print media.
We heard a lot of information today, a lot of topics discussed. What would be your one takeaway? The thing that you're going to be remembering most about the discussion today?
Well, I think the part which was a revelation to me was this huge extent of fake news, the opportunity for those kinds of evil players to mislead the population. They have a real capacity.
Do you have a possible solution?
I have no solution whatsoever.
Excellent.
But I think from what I got from Facebook and Google, they are becoming more serious about trying to get on top of that phenomenon.